Before we get into the video, I quickly want to talk about his build. Victor is an insane spirit-based tank that after the mid-game, once he gets some items going, just becomes absolutely unkillable. It's really hard to shut this character down once he gets going, and you can completely take over games. Your goal is to get some spirit items going, and then you're looking for a lot of resilience and health regeneration. Since your 3 ability deals a lot of self-damage, you want to make sure to have spirit resilience before actively using the ability. You're going to max out your 2 ability first, and what it does is that it deals spirit damage to yourself, and then you gain bonus regeneration and movement speed decaying over time. And once it's maxed out, you purge all non-ultimate debuffs. So this can be anybody that buys a heal bane, Infernus buying toxic bullets, his burn, any debuff that you can think of that isn't tied to an ultimate ability, which makes this ability insane because it's charge based. Once you have your infuser and rapid recharge, you'll be able to survive for a really long time. And remember, whenever you die, your ultimate ability automatically revives you. And once you have 2 points in it, you revive with 100% HP. And by the way, I do private coaching in Deadlock, so make sure to head on over to my Discord for more information, and let's get right into the game. Alright, we're back with another one. I just want to leave a quick reminder that 88% of you are not subscribed, so make sure to hit that sub button for more content like this. We have Zergy playing Victor with Mina against a Yamato and a Haze. I do believe that Zergy has the better lane here, so let's see how it plays out. I think that Victor right now is really strong once he gets going. He needs a couple of items, so until the mid game, you are playing pretty slowly. You're just focusing on farm and generating as much gold as possible until you have your power spikes. Starts with the 2 ability there because it's gonna regenerate a lot of HP if he takes a poke. Also, we are playing into Haze and Yamato that are quite good at poking, especially Yamato. I do like the attempt at denying there. He tried to body block the orb. Pops the 2 into the trade. Is about half HP. And once you are this low HP, you want to try to play around your healing trooper. And also he can wait for the cooldown on his 2. Later in the game, you'll have multiple charges on your 2, and that is basically what's going to make you unstoppable. Also, when it's maxed out, it removes debuffs. So whenever the enemy team try to shut you down, they buy a heal bane, they buy toxic bullet or something like that, you can just cleanse it. One item that counters Victor pretty well is Silencing Wave. It costs 3,200, but it makes it so that he can't use any of his abilities. It doesn't disable his ult, and Curse doesn't disable his ult either, but it does prevent him from pressing his 2, which is the main cause for his survivability, alongside the defensive items that you buy later on. Starts with Extra Spirit as his first item, as all his abilities scale with Spirit. Takes a bit of poke there, but just regenerates it back with his 2. He's roughly staying around 50% HP, trying to play a bit around the healing trooper, and just again focusing on farm. I don't really think that we can go for some kills in this lane. We just have to try to play it a bit passively and hope that the enemy make mistakes. And remember, once you take a bit of damage, you charge your 1, and then you are allowed to deal spirit damage in front of you, and it hits all enemies in front of you. There we go. That's a lot of damage. Look at that damage on Yamato and Haze. That's actually insane. You make sure to put 1 point into it early because it deals a little bit of extra damage. I do believe that is 40. And then we're trying to max out the 2 as fast as possible. It gets improved spirit there just for more scaling. Pops the 2. Gets a bit of health regeneration. Armina dies. Not looking like the greatest lane. It is a hard lane to play. I mean, Zergy can sustain it, but Yamato and Haze is just super oppressive. You have the Haze sleeping. You have the Yamato pressing her 1, just dealing a lot of damage. Don't think that we can get a kill on the Yamato here. And also, we can't use our 3rd ability because it just deals too much damage to us early on. We need a couple of items to get going. So in lane, if you are taking a fight, use your 3 sparingly. Play mostly around your gun and your 1. And use your 2 for regeneration. Get extra charge there. So as you can see, we have 2 charges on the 2 right now. Extra charge is such a cheap item. And also remember, boxes spawn at 2 minutes. So whenever you have a bit of downtime and there's not much of a wave to grab, just make sure to go for some boxes. But yeah, with extra charge on now, he's very tanky, and he can just use his 2 ability twice to regenerate HP. Going for some more boxes here now as the wave is already taken care of. He is keeping up well with the Haze and Yamato, but Armina is struggling. She's a bit behind. And remember, just because you lose lane doesn't mean that the game is over. You can make back the souls lost in lane very fast later on. Kills early on are not worth that much gold, which is why you try to focus on the wave as much as possible. The key is to trade with your opponents. So whenever their key cooldowns are down, for example, for Haze, it's a sleep dart, and for Yamato, it's her 1. If they're on cooldown, you have an opportunity to trade and deal damage to them. And that's kind of how I think around the lanes. I just look at the enemy team whenever I'm on the zipline. I look at what abilities I'm afraid of, and then I just play around the cooldowns, and it usually helps me a lot in the lane. Zergy does have his ultimate ability now, so if he does die, he's just gonna be revived, dealing a lot of damage to the Yamato, and Yamato actually ends up dying, and Zergy is just back. The ult is on a pretty long cooldown. It's 190 seconds once you die. Buffs spawn at 5 minutes as well, so just make sure to be ready for it. The timer is about 30 seconds behind. But yeah, make sure to push your wave and just be there for the buff. Use the launch pads to get to it. And now Zergy got the movement buff, which gives him more stamina, and also the zipline is faster. Just a lot of value. Now he gets restorative locket, and the way restorative locket works is that whenever an enemy uses an ability around you, you gain a charge, and when you use the locket, you actually heal. But whenever you use the locket, you also restore 2 stamina bars, so a lot of value when it comes to movement. Alongside the movement buff the Zergy just got, he can go crazy here actually. And yes, 1 charge in his 2, so a lot of regeneration. Going to be healing a lot. I don't think that we can rely on our Mina here, but we do get the kill on the haze, which is very nice. Yamato does have her ultimate ability. Mina doesn't. One nice thing about having Mina on your team is that her ultimate actually silences per hit. So she can silence the Yamato when we go in for the kill later on. Mina ends up dying again, but it is a good trade. It's a trade in our favor, I would say. He doesn't need super much net worth, but you're not looking to actively take fights on this character until the mid game. Once you have your spirit resilience in the mid game, that's kind of when you can go in, because then you can use your 3 ability without taking too much damage on yourself. Your goal is to hit about 50% spirit resist to use your 3 without doing too much damage to yourself. Currently sitting on 1.6k souls. Let's see, I think he's gonna buy before he goes in for another fight. He's gonna get cold front, which is super nice. The thing about Victor is that you need to be close to the enemies, and cold front deals an AoE around you, and you slow the enemies, which makes it super easy for you to stick onto them. Victor's worst fear is being kited a lot, and cold front just helps with that. Now we have Vindicta ganking here, so I think that we might be able to get the tower. Yamato is going to be speed boosting back into lane here. Might be able to get a kill on the haze. There's a cold front that we talked about. Or Yamato might just go all in. However, Yamato doesn't have her ultimate. I don't think she's gonna be able to get our Vindicta. And in 2 seconds, we have the heal. So yeah, the sustain on this character once you get going in lane and once you get that extra charge is just absolutely insane. Combine that with an early restorative locket and you're just healing yourself so much. The 2 ability on Victor is really good right as you take a trade. So as soon as Yamato goes in, he's gonna look to press his 2 just to regenerate HP during the fight. He has another charge of his 2, and his ultimate is back up again, so if he dies, he's gonna be revived. If you're not sure if you can go into a fight or not, just use your ultimate ability as a Q. If your ult is up, feel free to take a bit of risk to learn the limits of your character. If your ultimate ability is on cooldown, just focus on farming and generating gold. And remember, once the light is on the second to last one, that's when you want a heavy punch, and you get 4 permanent buffs. It all adds up throughout the course of the game, so make sure to grab the vault. Again, we don't really have any fear here, because if we do die, we just get revived. Or Mina might die from the Yamato there. Mina's dying a lot this game, but yeah, Zergy's just staying alive. I think we're gonna look to try to get the tower as soon as possible. Definitely a goal. We do have cold front here, slows the Yamato a little bit. I think they will get the tower here. I'm wondering if Zergy's gonna back out. Nice movement. Gets up here. Notice how he's just grabbing boxes on the way out, by the way. Just optimizing the souls. Gonna go for the jungle camp here. Is he gonna pop his 3 for it? I don't think so. Oh, there it is, actually. Also, cold front helps with that jungle power, so you can clear a little bit faster. But yeah, notice how he doesn't keep the 3 active that much, because, again, it's dealing too much damage to us right now. We need more spirit resist. We have Warden here, and I think he's zoning out the Yamato, so we can just grab the tower. Very nice of Warden. Goes for the parry, and yeah, we're just gonna get it. Lash is here. The enemy Lash is about to have his ultimate ability here, so I'm not too sure if you want to stick around. I mean, again, as long as you have your ult on Victor, you are quite safe, as long as you have a couple of teammates around. But your main priority is going to be farming a lot until the mid game. Don't be afraid of joining again once you have your ult, but you have to generate the souls. It's very, very important. Is Mina gonna end up dying again? No, Mina actually ends up getting the kill on Sinclair, which is very nice. We have Drifter on us here. And are we... Oh, nice parry. A quick tip for parries is just learn the heavy parry sound, or the heavy punch sound rather, and then just parry on command. Don't rely too much on the visual cue, rely on the sound if you can. Has about 3,100 souls here. He's gonna grab the jungle camp here and the vaults most likely. Another crazy thing is once you get the mid boss, you essentially have 2 lives on Victor, because you get a stack of the mid boss, right? And then when you die, you get revived with full HP after a couple of seconds, and then you still have your ultimate up, so if you die, you will just be revived again. So Victor is just absolutely insane. insane, especially if you manage to get the mid boss as well while his ult is off cooldown. And once you have charges in your 2, you can use your 3 a bit more whenever you're jungling, because then you can just regenerate your HP. But make sure to just press your 2 whenever you have 2 charges and you're not expecting a fight, or just keep the charges until you're about to go into a fight and then use them. Currently sitting on about 5,000 souls. And as I said, the early game is a bit slower on Victor. You need your items to get going. There's the spirit resilience that we talked about, and now he's going to be able to use his 3 a bit more. Yeah, the jungle clear is not the fastest on Victor, but again, we just need to generate as much as possible. Looks like the enemy team is going to go for the urn here. I'm curious if Zergy is going to value the fight that is going on the right side of the map right now, or if he's just going to go back to farming. I mean, there is a wave to catch on the walker. Our 7 is going there as well. Gets fleet foot as well, and as you know, this is one of my favorite items in the game because it makes it so that you don't lose any movement speed whenever you're shooting. I absolutely love this item. I try to build it on the characters that I can. Of course, in some builds you have to skip it, but I really like this item. I'm curious at what point he's gonna start joining his team as well, because right now I would say he's getting on track with his items, but I do think that he needs a little bit more. And if you're unsure about what to do on the map, just look at the state of the waves. Prioritize the waves over everything if you're looking to generate souls. And then once waves are done, just look if you can do any objectives on the map. If there are no objectives to be done, check whenever the buff is spawning. And if there's nothing else, just go for jungle camps and let kills be a byproduct of whatever you're doing. So his goal here wasn't to find this haze at all. His goal was just to go and push the wave to generate souls. But we found out that haze is here, and in some situations this haze could die and it could lead into a kill, right? So kills are always a byproduct of whatever you're doing. You don't necessarily have to force kills if you follow the floor chart and you're not really sure about what to do. Mina is using her ultimate ability there to deal a lot of damage to the walker, which is one of the main strengths of Mina. Using a bit of regeneration there. Lash is ulting, and looks like our Mina is about to get out. One nice thing with Mina is that her 2 ability, the bats that help you escape, actually allow you to dodge abilities such as Lash ultimate there, which is probably why the Mina survived. Zerg is currently sitting on 14k souls total. And yeah, we're not really looking to engage. Again, our goal is just to get huge as early as possible, get our power spikes, and then look to join our team and just be this unstoppable monster. So I would say that Victor has a bit of a slower playstyle early on, but it quickly ramps up. Looks like he's gonna go for Berserker next, which is gonna give him a bit of bullet resist, but also a lot of weapon damage. We will have a lot of players focusing us later on, and just getting those Berserker stacks in just helps a lot with the damage overall. You want to be shooting your gun as much as possible. Yes, you're dealing damage with your 1 and your 3, the aura around you that damages yourself, but also enemies. But a lot of your damage will also come from your gun. Looks like we might try to join our team here. The enemy team are trying to take our walker, and this might be the first fight. Actually, Zerg is prioritizing the wave. He's not too bothered about the fight, but nice parry on the Billy there. And since Zergy has his ult, he doesn't have to be scared at all. He has the 3 going on right now, and as you can see, the 3 isn't dealing a lot of damage to us right now. Has the regeneration going there too. And there's the Sinclair dead. Another thing is, if you do die and you have your ultimate ability, your 3, the aura that deals damage around you, is actually ongoing while you're dead. Going to duel the Yamato there. And what's nice with Victor as well is that you don't need incredible aim on this character. A lot of the damage is just going to be passive around you, so you can secure kills quite easily. Now we're sitting at about 3.7k souls, using a bit of regeneration. I think we're a bit too low HP, and again, jungling is quite slow on Victor. It's hard to be efficient, but that cold front definitely helps. And now that we can use our 3, we just grab jungle camps a bit faster. Zergy is on 19k souls. He's the only one that can match the enemy haze, and I do think that Victor is going to be a problem for haze later in the game. I know that this VOD review is a bit slower. There's not super much action happening around the Victor, but one thing that you should be paying attention to is just how Zergy is following the flowchart. He's really prioritizing farm, and there's a lot to learn here. It's not necessarily Overwatch or Marvel Rivals, but he's just playing textbook Deadlock for his character. And as you can see there, that Lash was just a byproduct of Zergy going for farm and the wave. Maybe we could have killed the Lash, I'm not entirely sure. That opportunity will present itself as long as you're just focusing on generating souls. 5.9k souls here. I'm curious what the next item is going to be. If it's going to be a 6k item, maybe he's going to go for Infuser. And I think once you get Infuser, that is going to be probably one of your biggest power spike. That's going to enable you to survive for a very long time. Your health regeneration is going to go through the roof whenever you're fighting. Drifter ends up dying there. Balance the extra regen there and gets Infuser. And Infuser gives you 80% Spirit lifesteal whenever you use the item. And it lasts for 6 seconds. Looks like the enemy team are trying to deliver the urn. And Zerg is just farming. The team is on the left side of the map. Zerg is on the right side. He's just farming. I think one of the main reasons why he's not joining the team for fights right now is because he has to match the haze. The enemy haze is getting huge right now. She's 3k ahead of Zergy. And he has to find a way to deal with her later on in the game. Really easy fight against Billy. Interesting that he doesn't grab the bag there from Billy. Just focuses on getting the wave done. I don't know. I think personally I would probably go back for that bag. It was quite big. Creating a lot of pressure on this side of the map. So you don't always necessarily have to join your team. You can create pressure by just split pushing. And look, the haze has to respond and she has to go to that walker, which gives our team a lot of space on the left side of the map. And with Infuser right now and his ult available, he can just hover here. He isn't full HP, as you can see, but if the haze does end up going for us, we can deal with her quite easily. Let's take a quick check if anybody's counter building against the Victor. Lash has heal bane, but we can cleanse him with our 2. Sinclair doesn't really have anything. Billy has a heal bane. Drifter doesn't have anything. Yamato doesn't have anything, and Haze doesn't have anything. So nobody is counter building the Victor. And as I said before, silencing silence wave can be insane against Victor because he can't use any of his abilities. Now he has frenzy. Now Zergy is absolutely massive if he joins a big fight. Probably just gonna chase the Lash here, cold front to slow the Lash down, and now he can just chase. If he wants to, he can press the restorative locket for more stamina bars. Lash should be dying. He is literally 1 HP. Why is the Lash not dead? There we go. So Frenzy is all about whenever you're below 50% HP, which is very easy to trigger with Victor's 3. You just gain a lot of spirit resist and a lot of passive stats. You gain movement speed, you gain fire rate. Frenzy is gonna benefit him a lot. And now Zerg is much more active. His net worth is about 30k souls, and I think that he can feel very, very confident engaging fight as long as he has his ultimate ability. Uses the infuser there, and the health regeneration is just insane. Like, what is the Yamato supposed to do here? I'm not too sure. Parries the Sinclair. Wait, can you parry while you're in rabbit form? Not sure what just happened. If anyone knows, just please let me know in the comments down below, but it looked like he parried in rabbit form. Just dealing so much damage around him. He's gonna have his infuser now. Might end up dying, but he's gonna be back with full HP. He has 3 players chasing him right now. Haze even ults. Has restorative locket as well for the heal. He's about to have a charge on his 2. Haze is chasing him. He really wants Zergy. Pops the 2 for the health regeneration, and he just doesn't die. It's just so crazy. So this is the power of Victor once you get your items going. And I think a common mistake that a lot of Victor players do is that they don't play for his net worth, and they stress helping out the team too soon. You want to make sure that you're very huge on this character before you go in. He gets bullet resilience there and also a healing booster, and healing booster increases the effectiveness of our healing by 20%. So it's just an insane item for our survivability. And now we're equal souls to the Haze, and I don't think the Haze can do anything to stop Victor at this point. I really don't. Also, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this character. I think that once he gets going, he's so frustrating to play against. It's actually insane. The Haze is even tilted, and you can see it on the chat. That's the fun part about replays. You see both sides of the coin. Salve's restorative locket there to get counterspell. Counterspell is also one of my favorite items in the game. Basically, whenever you parry, it eats all enemy abilities for 1 second. So the enemy team, they have a Lash, for example. They have a Billy ult. You can counterspell a lot of these things. You can counterspell the Rabbit from Sinclair. He's gonna go in here. He's gonna cold front probably to slow the Yamato. And now he's just sticking to her. And remember, whenever you press your 2, you also gain a lot of movement speed. So just insane. About to hit that 50% HP threshold too for his frenzy. Just gives you a lot of passive stats. And at this point, I would say that Zergy is just the server admin. And I'm curious if they're gonna go for the mid boss. Finds the Sinclair down here. Curious if they're just gonna go straight to the mid boss with those 2 kills. I think they should. Just not much the enemy team can do. And now remember, if Zergy dies, he's gonna respawn with the mid boss buff, right? Because we get charges, and then he can die again to respawn with his ultimate ability. Billy is going for this. He doesn't have counterspell. Counterspell for the Lash ult there too. Just a lot of value from the counterspell there, by the way. And it's so hard for the enemy team to fight Victor at the mid-boss pit as well, because it's such a tight area, people are clumped up, and he's just dealing so much damage with his AoE, with his 3 ability. Our gun is dealing quite significant damage too. There's just so much going on with Victor right now. He's just unkillable. And yeah, so the way the mid-boss works is that whenever you get the buff, you can see under the scoreboard, you see 3 yellow icons. It means that we can have 3 deaths on our team where our teammates respawn. If you die and you consume a charge, you will respawn, but it can't happen again for that person. So now Zergy can just go all in, and he essentially has 2 lives. And even though we have a 20k solely, just notice how Zergy is just constantly farming. Gets rapid recharge there, so now we have 3 charges on our 2, and it's just completely snowballing from here. Like, I would be shocked if the game doesn't end very soon. I think we're probably 1 fight away or something like that. Looks like there's a big brawl around the final walker. And at this point, they can just run into them. I think this haze is just done for. A 41k net worth haze just can't do anything to us. That bullet resilience that he bought earlier definitely helps with the haze too. Gets the victor there. And now we can just push into the enemy base, and there is just absolutely nothing they can do. But yeah, very good example of patience and just generating a gold lead and understanding your power spikes correctly before taking fights with your team. It looks so insane just watching this. Victor just looks absolutely broken. I do know that in the higher ranks, he doesn't have an insane win rate. It's probably because a lot of players don't know how to play him, first of all. But I do think that they get countered more often. I mean, if you just look at the enemy team, they're not necessarily buying a lot of counter items for him. Yes, they're buying anti-heal, but I don't think that that is necessarily the solution. Because again, when his 2 is maxed out, you can cleanse most debuffs. So you need to build something that silences Victor's abilities so he can't press them. Just respawns in the enemy base, and I think that this is going to be a game. Just a really clean textbook deadlock VOD of Victor. And let's take a look at that post-game screen. Here's the post-game screen for this one. He ends the game deathless, 12-0-16 with top damage. What a crazy one. And let me know what you thought of the video in the comments down below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, take care. Bye-bye.